Hello everybody, my name is Brocksta Rama, and today we're going to be testing out the new to me, Browning Superlight rod. This is the 76HF. It's for flipping and heavier worm applications. Today, since it's a hot day, I'm going to be testing it out. This is literally going to be my first cast with it. Really hard not to cast it with a havoc lizard. The reason I used a havoc lizard is because I couldn't find another one in a darker candy pumpkin color, and I have it on a Carolina rig. I try to rig it as straight as possible, just so it doesn't give any weird contrast that the bass might not like. I fished this pond before. I don't know if I fished it on video, maybe on the other end of it. Also, the legs of this, they give off a slightly different vibration than most lizards. So if you're going to be in a place where they do fish a lot of lizards, and larger lakes, obviously, where they like to flip lizards in beds, well, spawning is over. It's 90 degrees, a little bit of wind, thank God, and I have my little scruffy, masky sun neck protector, so that's good. I'm also using a flipping lure, a flipping hook instead of a normal worm hook, just because I don't like the way I'm getting hung up with weeds on that traditional shoulder of your wide gap ECW hooks or EWC or whatever. I do have a tungsten weight with a little bit of a this water's more clear than I've seen it in a while, even though it's been raining. I do have, okay, so let's take step by step. Have the bait, 6.5 inch havoc lizard. I have a 3/8 ounce, looks kind of small, but it's actually a 3/8 ounce tungsten Strike King weight with a glass bead. Glass because that tungsten and that glass bead are going to make a lot more noise than a plastic bead. I have a 70-pound offshore swivel with a bearing in it, so it was a little bit more expensive. The Browning Superlight. A lot of people have been debating on this rod, including people that I know that work with a lot of rods all the time. People that work at like Bass Pro, Fishing Tackle Unlimited here in Houston, and then of course the other places like Academy, where they pretend to know how to fish. This is a Daiwa Coastal Zillion. They don't make this reel anymore. The reason I put this reel on this rod is because this is my fastest reel. So it's 7.3:1 gear ratio. What that means is every turn of your handle, that bull is going to turn 7.3 times. So that's really fast. This is a 32 to 36 inch per handle. Let's see, that's about 42 inches. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so about 32 inches. And I just need a faster reel when I'm Carolina rigging, when I'm flipping, things like that. There's other people that have their reasons. My reason is, for whatever reason, when bass hit my lures, they like to run toward me. Even if they're in cover, they don't go deeper in the cover. They run toward me. Stupid bass, do your job. But I have paired it with some Berkeley Trilene trans optic line. It's 14-pound test. It has the same diameter of 17-pound test in other lines like Seagar and the 0.15. So it should be pretty good line. I don't want to go any heavier than this just because it affects the way I cast, the way it spools when I'm reeling in really slowly. And so this is the first cast with this setup. Hopefully I can catch some fish for you and give you some feedback on the Superlight. That's the main reason for this video. That and to catch some fish and have a good time. You can hear me blah 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 because everybody loves to hear me run my mouth for some reason. I was going to put the camera over there, that way you can see my face. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. So, I mean, give me feedback. You want to see my face? I'm not really proud of my face, so that's why I was going to wear the mask, but I figured you wouldn't be able to hear me. And then, of course, our viewers that read lips, when I'm facing the camera, will be able to understand me better. Then I could talk like this, if that helps you out. So anyways, we're going to cast, first cast, promise, at this pond. I've fished a few times. This is an HF, which means the backbone of this rod is going to be heavy, and it's going to have a fast tip. Not extra fast or extra fast tip for like flipping, punching, using really heavy jigs in lily pads or hydrilla. And so far, the sensitivity of this rod is pretty nice. I can tell that I'm going over a little bit of mud versus like rock or gravel. I'm just barely moving this thing. There's a lot of... So crankbait fishermen think that worm people cheat, or it's too easy to cast a worm and catch fish. Worm guys think casting a crankbait is too easy. So whatever, if you're fishing for money and you find a technique that works, just do it, you know. You have to suck it up. I know people want to cover water, cover water, cover water. A lot of us, we don't care about, well, covering water so much. Really? Thank God. Okay, so what happened was my weight got caught on some kind of cement. I do have another one. I do have more of these set up, but still. It's not easy to get your Carolina rig hung up, especially because you're moving it so slow. When you do tap into something, you can tell that it's a fish usually. I did not set the hook on that, thankfully, because that was like some kind of concrete slab or anything, and there's a concrete slab on this body of water that is notorious for taking my freaking lures. Just ask my girlfriend. So hopefully we'll be able to catch fish on film. So far, the rod, like I said, I immediately recognized when I hit that because of the superior craftsmanship of this rod. I don't know. I've never had a Browning rod before. I mean, I had a little cheap one that I used for like fishing for trout, but I haven't used it in a professional setting where I really expect to catch larger fish. This is a big fish rod. This is not a play rod like I am using it for right now. But so far so good on the sensitivity pack. I'm just trying to see if there's a fish in here. There he is. Oh, there he is! Oh my God! Okay, he's just a little guy, but that's a good sign. So, had enough backbone in this rod to really get through his face, and this is the new, I can't remember what this Havoc hooks are called. They're Berkeley Fusion hooks. They're supposed to be a little bit more smooth. That way you don't have to set the hook as hard. This is like a little tiny guy. This is like a 12-inch bass. But it still got through the hard part of his cheek without me really setting the hook. I mean, you saw me. He flew out of the water a little bit. But the reason I bring that up is because with the rod tip, this fast action rod tip, that was what I was talking about. I need to be stiff enough to get through my bait, get through the face of that bass, just in case I do not have a set line. So a set line is when you're bowled up on the line, you have constant pressure. Sometimes you don't get that. Sometimes it drops off whatever, and you have that little bit of leeway in your line, and of course that's when the bass hit it. And so if I had a little bit more rod tip, that I probably wouldn't have got that fish because he hit it so lightly that it would have just pulled right out of his face. This rod has a little bit of give, so that I was able to go ahead and get that hook set on that fish without even using any effort. And I'm telling you again, he got right through the hard part. It's really impressive. I like that. Didn't mess up my line. That's another thing about this word about the line that I'm using. It's fluorocarbon, so it's a little bit more abrasion resistant. This clam is live. That is not a zebra mussel, so don't freak out and be like, you threw a zebra mussel back into the ocean. It's not the ocean. But there are some culverts here. you know, pretty much the only cover that this place offers. Unless there's some stuff out there, there's probably some pipes that feed that fountain. But anyway, again, don't have to set the hook real hard. I have a lot of confidence in the hook and the backbone of this rod. So, another little guy. You're eating a 6.5-inch worm. And, I've heard people say that, well, you catch the small fish first, and then the big ones will hit. I'm pretty sure the small fish will move if that big fish sees something he wants. Because some of these bass are they're about the same size as this bait. Well, not quite. That's a little exaggeration on my part. I'm gonna need a new lizard already. So my Carolina rig is already messed up, man. There's got to be some concrete out there or something, so I'm gonna get away from the concrete. Hope I don't. Well, I do hope I hook something significant, but at the same time, I don't feel like retying my stuff. So far, so good on this rod. It feels really good. Super sensitive, super light. Usually 7.6s, man. Might as well just go home when it comes to using them all day. I really want to get a left-handed reel for this rod. Because with these really slow presentations, I feel like if I had a left-handed reel, I would be able to. That little second of hesitation that I have with my left hand, I think I would do better. I mean, I'm still pretty good, but I don't know, I got it in my head that I want to do that, and now I'm going to do it. So, here's what it is. Cats right on the edge of these culverts that are coming out from under. They're feeding from another body of water. There's a few little fish here, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of big fish. So far, so good on the rod again. I'm liking the sensitivity. I can literally feel every little bump or difference in the elevation of the ground, the seabed, the lake bed, the pond bed, and remember when you're doing a video, to always flex your abs. That way you don't let it out. I'm a pretty fit guy, but for whatever reason, it looks like I have a belly. I won't elaborate on that, because I know my girlfriend's probably gonna watch this too. You're so funny. And then she'll say some other stuff. But she's not with us today. If she decided to have a girls' night out, let me see. I'm just going up a hump or something. The length of this rod really helps. There it is. Oh, just kidding. Now notice I didn't set the hook like I was trying to get through the face of a freaking grouper. I have a lot of confidence in this hook after seeing what it did to that bass, just barely moving it. And this rod, it's so sensitive that I can use a fast hook set like that. I love Carolina rigging. It's just a pain in the ass when you mess up your line, you have to re-rig them. You know, some people, they put them in bags, so that way they'll have a quick change set up, ready to go. For the most part, you don't really have to retie a lot, but when you're fishing around this concrete stuff, it just changes the game, you know. I know that certain structure can decimate your line as well, but concrete, man, it does not like, this is a big old gar. It just loves to eat your line. So I'm pretty sure that if I wanted to throw like a swim jig with this rod, I could, because of its sensitivity. It's how light it is. I mean, well, not the sensitivity so much, but the light, how light it is, and the softness of the tip, which is not that soft. But I do like a good tip, a little bit of a fast action tip when I'm working my swim jig, especially if they're a little heavier. I'm liking this setup though. I just wish I would catch it. Oh, big fish, please. Not real windy, so it's really great for a video. I know I hear a lot of people making videos when they don't have. Never mind, I forgot what I was going to say. There's a big old bass right here. Carolina, living with this rod. Until a few years, when I started doing local and maybe state tournaments, I'm pretty good about this giving me a little bit of an edge for a lot of different many different applications. That a lot of other people don't think about. It's not a very expensive rod either. Alright, that was probably about 20 minutes. Part 2 coming up. Alright, we moved. Alright, I hope y'all can hear me. But, yeah, so, caught a tree. Probably a world record. World record time. So there's a tree guy out there going, "The time. Cedar. It's a cedar when I start getting stumps that aren't dedicated, I either think it's a perch or a bass that's just not dedicated to it. So right now I noticed tons of little perch. I mean, we're talking schoolie perch, maybe an inch. So that's pretty cool. This does not look like a perch. Not even a little bit. So. Pretty hot. Water's pretty cool though, so I don't think the bass has moved too deep yet. And it's been a cloudy day, so the water's going to warm up a little bit less quickly. This big old guard is sitting there on top of the water. You know, it's funny, I was at Lake Fayette, and if you ever see a guy that does YouTube videos, he calls himself sport fisherman or something, but he's on Lake Fayette the entire time, so I'm like, these poor people don't realize he's actually fishing a lake that has, you know, 40 bass for 100 square feet, you know, and it's like fishing. It's not quite like fishing ponds. I've been there a few times, and it's really serious. Notice that rod is just enough free. Get a good fish setting on it, probably fit like that. Anyways, I won't talk bad about him. You can't expect too many giants out of these ponds unless it's somewhere that has been established for a while. I have caught some 7-pound bass out of this body of water. That was a pretty fun little hit. I like it. I hope you like watching me catch them. So they're probably falling in, and right at the point in which I start working it near the cover here, that's when they hit it. When they've been hitting it. So I'm probably just going to work a little bit more shallow. Just kidding. They got to follow it in, they hit it right here, that's fine, whatever. I just like casting, and I like testing out this rod, because what I'm looking for in the rod is to see if there's anything I don't like about it. About the balance, about when I set my hook, about when I feel these little thumps. Literally, I'm feeling like doop, doop, doop. And it's a little irritating, because you know it's probably perch. Although I've never caught a perch out of this pond. I've caught some crappie on like big bass worms, and they inhaled them. Like there was no, oh, you know, it wasn't even a bass worm. It was a swim jig, or a spin jig with one of the soft plastics, the Kevin Van Dam soft plastic. Can't remember the name of it. Don't care. Just a big old shad lure. I think it's Shadalicious. No, not Shadalicious. Shadalicious is overpriced and nobody buys them anymore. I feel like this rod would actually be good for large, slow spinnerbait presentations as well. Because of how sensitive it is, and just how the tip of it is just so, it's not crazy thick, it's not so stiff that they're going to hit it and it's not going to be able to, just going to rip it out of their mouth. It's actually a pretty good tip on it. And these little bass, I mean, it's not really a good comparison. I really need a big fish so I get a good hook set to show you just how this rod, you know, how it reacts under some pressure. And there are some big fish in here. Maybe a school or something. I don't know if it's going to rain or not, guys. I hope you're having fun with my video here. Also, when I set the hook, a lot of times you'll see me just do a little quick twitch. That's something I learned flounder fishing, actually. sometimes, just to get the hook in them, if I'm not confident they're holding on to that bait, I could give them that little quick twitch hook set, and it will get the lure through their face, especially with a good hook like this Fusion. I hope it's called a Fusion because I'm giving you the wrong. You're gonna get past Brocksta like, where's the Fusion hook? I'm pretty sure it's a Berkeley hook. It's pretty cool. I'm just gonna need a new bait. So that. All right. Well, we'll bring you right back. Part 3 coming up, yo.
Let's see if I can figure out how to turn this off. Are we good? Are you gonna stop?